Hey everyone, Lensman here, and welcome back to Endzone, A World Apart. Let's have a look here at what we're doing. So, we were doing all sorts of... Okay, we need to make another source of food, a gatherer's cabin. Okay, let's unpause. I believe this was the game we were playing. Yes, it is. The joys of, when you play to test a game, and you go back and record and you play through a different game, and sometimes it can be hard to remember what we're doing. Alright, so we need to build a gatherer's cabin. Gatherer's cabin. There we go. We're going to place it somewhere that makes sense. Sure. We need to assign 2 gatherers. We've got 3 people left. It's pretty harsh. And we're going to produce some berries and mushrooms. Once this is built, I'm going to move it to probably the same area that the Forester's Lodge is, to try and keep that area populated. We've got a few things in here that berries and the like. What, some mushrooms and things. Alright. They're built. Very nice. Let's move.
Very good. As you can see, the gatherer's cabin is an effective possibility to get food quickly. But watch
that dropped
out.
pretty quick.
After a drought, it's going to take some time before the plants have regrown. As is the case with most buildings, here too, you can relocate the working area at any time.
Done that.
Although we are sufficiently supplied at the moment, our survival depends on diligent planning. If we can lay out a plan for an orchard, then we can start to plant fruit or nut trees that we can harvest after a few seasons.
Let's do that. So I already had someone assigned to this. Oh, I didn't choose a seed. So that was cabbage. This was meant to be the black salsify stuff. Alright, so it wants us to build an orchard. You know what, let's keep them all nearby. And I think I left enough room there for a road. There we go. I am going to need another farmer. It's
the orchard has been laid
plums,
and the trees are already beginning to grow. Similar to crops for farming, trees need some time until they are fully grown. But once they have grown, they can be harvested again and again until they have to be newly planted.
No worries.
The gatherer's cabin gathers food from the surrounding forests. However, there are any number of other plants there which we can use as well. These plants can be gathered by an herbal hut. The herbs gathered there can be consumed by settlers to replenish their health.
Okay. So a herbal hut, or an herbal hut, depending on where you live. Let's see, that'll be under... Oh, community. Oh, it's under resources, okay. So, same sort of deal, let's going to block off that whole roadway, and let's put it here. Trying to keep a bit of a road sort of area. And then we need to make someone a herbalist. And they will produce some herbs. We'll be all good. Slowly getting through things, aren't we? I guess once the scrapyard's finished everything in here, we'll have to move it and then slowly move things around.
We can equally utilize the gathered herbs to convert them into medicine later on. It might happen that an illness breaks out in our settlement from time to time and spreads among our settlers. That's why we always ought to have enough herbs on hand.
No worries.
Radiation is the main reason why the health status of our settlement can decrease. Although our settlers already use protective clothing to shield themselves against environmental radiation, it might occur that our sources of water become contaminated. We should start to filter our water to prevent this from happening. We will need a great deal of charcoal to accomplish this. The charcoal kiln will burn wood to produce charcoal.
Okay. Understood. The charcoal kiln. And that's not going to be real pretty to look at, so let's move it over here. We'll leave a little road gap. And then we want someone to be a charcoal burner. And we'll want to produce some coal. We're going to get given some plastic and some coal as a reward. Here they come. Coming over to build it. A little bit of some wood. Just scrap. Nicely done. And they'll produce up to 100. Burn through the wood that we have. And again, we can always gather wood as needed. Things are starting to look fairly busy here in town. The bus is still pretty ugly there in the middle, but whatever. You producing? What are you waiting for? Delivery of wood or something? Yep, guess so.
We can use the charcoal in conjunction with a filtration system to purify our water. Unfortunately, our cistern is not able to do this. Only the water tower has the necessary equipment for this capability.
Okay, guess we're building a water tower.
It would be a disgrace if we had to demolish our trusted cistern just to erect a water tower in its place. What we ought to do instead is upgrade the cistern itself. A water tower can store much more water and provides workplaces for a lot more water carriers than our old cistern.
Okay, got this little button here. It's gonna cost a few things, but let's hit the button. And then it wants us to build another recycler. Okay. Probably should have put that there, right? Oh well. Let's put it here. Need another refiner. And we need 2 more water carriers. And this one will produce plastic. Well, so this one does cloth, this one does metal, this one will produce plastic. Very nice. What are we waiting on? Some scrap. Speed it up for a second because we only seem to have one person doing things. We need to get another person in there too because we're starting to get through this stuff. We're going to be requiring more and more things. So let's seriously just drop a couple of people in there. Here we go.
The water tower is up and ready for action. Good work. Filtering the water is an important next step because clean drinking water is a key mainstay of any stable society. Let's begin with filtering our water. To save on charcoal, we ought to ensure that at least a little bit of water not contaminated by radiation is being stored in our water tower. Water gained from a well is never contaminated by radiation, so it suggests itself for that purpose. Then we can use the remaining charcoal to produce better protective clothing.
Okay. So it wants us to build a well. And then it wants me to put someone as a well keeper. And activate the filter on the water tower, which means I'll bring some coal, I guess. And then instruct the tailor's shop to produce activated carbon masks. So tailor was here. We want to start making this. And I don't think I want 100, I think like 50. Oh, really? Don't think we need that many. 50 is good. A lot of people hanging around. What do we need? 8 settlers. You know what? Someone else in there. Well's, I guess, doing its thing.
Good work. We are continuously taking steps towards being better and better equipped to be able to survive in this hostile environment. Filtered water is a precious asset, and later on we can even use it to irrigate our fields. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Not only our water can become a hazard for our settlers due to radiation, our food can too. We ought to erect a decontamination post to prevent settlers from eating meals that are contaminated with radiation.
Hey. A decontamination post. Let's see this, you know. It's in logistics. It's a lot of things to build. Sure, we'll put it there. And then someone needs to be a decontaminator. There they are. Still got a few jobs. Researcher. Pub keeper. Medic. Mortician. Logistician, I guess. Logistics. Oh, I don't know. Someone who does logistics. Militia. Scouts and explorers. So there's an irrigator. Herder. Crook. Cook? Crook. They go around stealing things. Anyway. Still got quite a number of buildings, it looks like. You full of something. Gonna need some sort of storage building soon. So that doesn't work.
Very good. The decontamination post is going to supply all buildings that stockpile food and are located in its working area in order to purify the food that has been affected by radiation.
Nice.
It's true. We should never forget that even when we optimally prepare and protect ourselves, we're still going to lose friends and members of our family time and again. We're going to mourn them, come what may. But if we're able to bury them in a cemetery, then we'll get over the pain and let them rest in peace.
Cemetery is quite a large building. As I assume, it would be. And then we want to assign someone to a mortician. Okay, let's get it built. This takes 30 wood, 56 scrap. We have 184 wood and 471 scrap, so I think we're okay. Pretty low on the plastic, as you can see at the top there. 22 cloth, 12 plastic. 22 carbon, so even that's a little low. We are using it here and here and... oh, sorry, here and here and there. But hopefully they can keep up with demand.
Okay. The cemetery will help us to quickly get a hold on ourselves and focus on the tasks that lie ahead. It's not a pleasant thought, but that's the way things are. At the very least, we're pioneers, aren't we? Maybe we ought to distract ourselves to lighten up the mood.
Honestly thought they'd have like a crematorium, but I guess that wastes resources, right?
We can erect a number of buildings to increase confidence in our settlement, including, for example, a campfire or a pub. In this situation, however, our best option would probably be to upgrade our town center. Settlers can visit the new town center, and by doing so, increase their confidence for a while.
Okie dokie. So we're going to upgrade our bus wreck to a mounted bus.
Very good. The new town center not only gives us more storage space, but at the same time, it functions just like a campfire, too. Settlers can visit the new town center, and by doing so, increase their confidence for a while. Now that we have made efforts to ensure the spiritual well-being of our settlers, we ought to attend to their physical health as well. Our settlers can get sick from time to time. Settlers who have become infected with a disease can die from it if they're not treated.
Medical facilities, huh?
Settlers will go to a medical facility to have themselves treated and will be admitted there, provided that beds are still available. We ought to ensure our settlers' medical health care.
Okay. Well, the road's about there somewhere. Again, it's not ideal where I've placed it. We want someone to be a medic. Good. Now they're going to chop this thing down and turn things into medicine. Low on the old people, huh? 11. These are only going to get to a certain level. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. We're actually above what we need. If I do too many, then we'll run out of space and they won't be able to live anywhere. They'll get cranky at me. Let's see if we can build this building. Today would be nice. Waiting for the scrap. Now we're waiting for medicine to be produced. Okay. Produce my peoples. And things are starting to get full. Okay. Step in, ensure the survival of the settlement for a while. Very good work. Since more and more children are being born these days, we should start to plan for long term. Okay.
While cabins are a good way to get settlers to start a family, they only provide limited space. This can quickly lead to people having to live on the street. Allow me to suggest to you that cabins be provided only in a very targeted manner in order to control the population growth of your settlement. Nothing is worse than not having enough resources to provide for everyone. We ought to build a shelter to be able to provide other inhabitants with a roof over their heads too.
Okay. Like, people in the buildings here going to be cranky at me for building a shelter over here, or... I mean, ideally... kind of spreading out a bit, I don't know. Had a little bit of stuff to do, bit of wood. Yeah, burning through the tools. Charcoal's a hard one. I need another person in there. Some more production happening. Maybe they can bring more wood. Yep, looks like it. A little bit more. Hopefully they'll bring the last few bits. There we go.
Very good. Remember that when children grow up, they're going to leave their parents' house and look around for a new place to live. It might happen that they don't find any home at all. We ought to build a shelter to be able to provide all inhabitants with a roof over their heads.
No worries.
I've
Looks like you can
already
build old
pointed
people
out to
shelters
you
too.
that it could become very dangerous if we were to run out of food at some point. Since a lot of people are going to be living in the new shelter, we ought to provide them with access to food in their vicinity. A hunting lodge can look for wildlife in the surrounding area to bring a little meat to the menu.
Okay, hunting lodge time. Get this in here somewhere. And we want a hunting lodge, someone in a hunter role. Hunter. Okay. We are hunting. People passing away. Candles. Let's move its location to being out here. Took out the venison. You just stand there, bro, or what are you actually doing? You just looking for something to hunt? You've already downed this one. I don't know what he's doing. Waiting for his power. Just waiting for a mate. Oh, let me guess. There's nowhere to put things. Production. Okay. Really windy here today, by the way. So if you do hear stuff in the background, we are chock-a-block full of food. Another two. Oh my gosh. We're gonna just smash the farms here, and we're waiting for a little bit of food to come in. Don't. Oh, lots of people passing. Candles going. 11 graves already. And just that's a dose, just like some deer running through your graveyard. Actually bringing food, but you drop down here. What are you doing, mate? Come back and get it. A little wasteful. So we've made 40 wild boar meat. But there's venison just like mouldering away over there on the ground. Come on. Run faster, buddy. It's 80. Really? So got this thing here. Wow. Anyway, that's cool. We're back down to 8 graves. How does that work? Or is there just 8 left? Now these guys go living next door to a cemetery.
Perfect. The hunting lodge equally provides us directly with food, but it functions somewhat irregularly because it relies on wildlife in the surrounding area. Nevertheless, it can be indispensable during a drought, because even the deer and wild boar still roam around the forest.
Cool.
However, wild animals can not only be shot, they can be captured too. When a wild animal has been captured, it can be brought to a pasture and served there as livestock. In order to...
Let's do it. Let's make a pasture. We want someone to be a herder. And we need it to be... We need them to catch someone. Let's change this to capture. And this is waiting for stuff to be delivered. And as soon as they deliver a animal, we can set this. We're out of wood. Oh boy. Hello. Forester's Lodge. Let's get another forester. How many people we got? 14. 3 foresters. 4 wood left. Not good. I mean, we could just clean up a couple of these trees here. All the spare people come and do some chopping. Okay, so we're just waiting for someone to capture something. It's in capture mode. It should allow. There we go. Oh, mate, there is bringing something back. Don't tell me you got to walk it all the way over there and then walk it all the way back.
Animals captured by a hunter are brought to a pasture where they are tended to and cared for by herders. Some animals produce resources such as milk or eggs. Other animals can only be slaughtered to eat. You ought to find out for yourself which type of animal brings you which benefit. On each pasture, you can choose which type of animal ought to be kept there.
Cool.
You must provide water for the animals you keep on your pasture. This enables them to survive and reproduce. When enough animals are fully grown, the herder will start to slaughter them. If you don't want animals to be slaughtered, you can also instruct the herder not to do so.
It's fine.
Now your herders know how they ought to handle the animals. And now that you've already captured several animals, don't forget to instruct your hunters to hunt animals again in the future so that they can continue to gather and provide food.
One animal. Like, can you capture me another animal? Is there 2 in there? Okay, we now have 2 in here. Yes, we have 2. That's okay. I mean, these guys can probably go back to hunt and capture, maybe.
With our increased production, our stockpile is going to run out soon.
Yep.
The supply routes for our production buildings are getting longer and longer too. To tackle these problems, you ought to build a temporary storeroom and have roads laid out.
Okay. Temporary storeroom. There we go. And then roads, right? So the cool thing about this game is that it gives you the areas as a little green shaded area of the front of the building. And it's about to save too. Okay, so I'm just going to try and build all these roads. Yep, build the roads in. And then hopefully our people will move a little bit faster. Good, good.
Good. Temporary storerooms increase your settlement's general storage capacity. Place them in a targeted manner in order to shorten the routes for goods between your production buildings. Roads are equally a great benefit because settlers moving on roads can go distinctly faster than on a normal supporting surface.
Works for me. Getting a few roads put in there now, they're building them really well.
To improve the whole thing even further, we can build a market to improve logistics at the settlement.
Oh my gosh.
Besides being an enormous stockpile for resources that is even able to store water, the market is responsible for distributing resources within your settlement. What's more, it also increases your settlers' confidence.
Sure. And then we need 2 logisticians. I think that's how you say it. Alright, cool. But looking at the time, I think this is a good place to wrap up. We'll get the market built next episode. Hope you're all enjoying it. Comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.